What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Today we're going to talk about what is the meta for Season 10 Diablo 3, what is the best class. I'm going to do my best to open up a discussion and just kind of let you guys know my thoughts. It's a really popular question I get every day on stream, so hopefully the video like this alleviates a lot of questions and concerns you guys might have. Okay, to start off the video, the three core characters have not changed. The meta hasn't changed for like the three core components. That's the Z Monk, okay, support monk, the support barb or Z barb, and the area damage dealer, the witch doctor, the fire bat witch doctor. These three have not changed. They are pretty much the core component to most builds 90 plus. There are other combos you can do, but yeah, that's pretty much the core components for 90 plus. Now what has changed is that they added Impaled Demon Hunter to the single target meta, the Rift Boss Killer. You've probably heard that term before. So it joins the Lightning Wizard and it joins the Gen Monk. Okay, so Gen Monk wasn't nerfed, Lightning Wizard wasn't nerfed, the damage just got allocated toward the Hydras. So the channeling portion did get nerfed, but it's essentially the same, if not stronger than before. All these characters that I just mentioned encompass GRs 80 to 110, okay? Most of us, 99% of players, probably aren't gonna pass Greater Rift 110. Let's be honest. So you can play any of those characters and get your butt in lots of groups next season and not really have to worry about it whatsoever. If you're like in the low, like 80 to 90, you can do like double witch doctor easy, even to 95. You can do like 80 to 95. You can do Firebird Wizard still, Z Wizard, and you know Z Monk and Z Barb. Like that combo still works really well for like low tiers. It's actually really fast still for speeds. Like nothing really got nerfed. They just keep adding to the meta. This is why I commended Blizzard for buffing Hammerding last patch, because they tried to add Crusader to the meta. Or the speed farm meta, don't want to misquote. If they had succeeded in adding Crusader to the meta, the speed farm meta that is, we'd have every single class up to 110, and that's like a golden era in Diablo where we have every class able to get Paragon with some type of build, and you can use, and then you can go back and just push on whatever build you want, and then that's why the armory is good, because you switch over to your group build and switch back over to your solo push build. So as for the actual meta, what meta really stands for, like the best 4-man comp, nobody knows that. And if they do know that, they're not going to reveal it to us. They're going to save all their secrets for next patch. The PTR almost never reveals the actual meta, going back season after season after season. So you never know what it's going to be, but at least I can get you guys to 110 safely and can with confidence let you guys know. Alright, what I'm going to do next is just kind of briefly touch on every class, let you know my thoughts and opinions on that particular class. Starting up first with the best class that was ever made, the Barbarian. You can play Whirlwind and IK6 for Raycore around the GR100 range. Okay, now that's like the top tippity top. But yeah, Whirlwind IK are around the 100 GR range, and then you can still play in the 90s like Thorns, Leapquake, Raycore. Barb has IK6 for a speed build. It's really fast. I mean, you can play Whirlwind. It's also really fast. So Barb has a lot of options. You can farm Paragon with your Z/support Barb, and then, do whatever you want. It really opens up. Barb has a lot of choices. There's probably some I missed, but I'm just going to cover the ones that I'm very familiar with. For Crusader, you have the Hammerding and Lawn Bomb around the GR100 range as well, but then it kind of drops off a lot from there. And so you have two solid classes you can play if you like Thorns or if you like Hammers. I almost went with Hammerding for Season 10 because it looks really fun. You don't have to do that weird stutter step anymore. You actually use the Traveler's Pledge combo, and so you stand still when you cast your hammer. So it's a lot more fun to play as opposed to the crazy carpal tunnel that you normally get. And of course for speed builds, you pretty much only have Thorns, but you can do the Icon, which we made a video of on the channel. Thorns speed build. You can do Invoker, Lawn Bomb for speeds. It's really good for speeds, but you're stuck with the Thorn Pony. Alright, my Demon Hunters out there, you sexy little bastards. The top two builds are probably going to be Lawn Fawk and Marauder 6. Obviously Marauder 6 is self-explanatory. Lawn Fawk is Legacy of Nightmares, Fan of Knives. And those are probably the top two builds. You're on the 100 range. In the 90s, you have a lot of options, though. You can play Unhallowed Essence or Grenades. You can play Unhallowed Essence Classic UE. Shadow and Pale is also in the 90s as well. Make sure that Shadow's really fun for speeds, but if you're playing on Shadow and Pale for next patch, do me a favor or do yourself a favor and solo push on Shadow. For me, it was a really resident sleeper, boring type of build to push solo. It was like having Gen Monk, but you're throwing with one hand instead of punching with two hands. I don't know. Push on Shadow and Pale and make sure you're doing a progressional rift and see if you like it. Hopefully I can save you time because that's one of the only builds I didn't like pushing on out of all these builds on the list. Shadow and Pale, solo pushing, no thank you. Let's talk about our monks now, the monkey boys. Our 6th gen is going to be probably the top build, but Inna's gen might pass it. A lot of people are telling me about Inna's gen, Inna's EP, and all this stuff, and we're going to have to wait and see. A lot of things are unconfirmed, but those are probably the top 2 builds. LON LTK is probably up there as well. And you can still play classic Ileana's. I'm sure I missed a lot of monk builds out there. I just want to tell you the ones that I'm familiar with for the most part. For speed monk builds, you can play like Bell Monk, you can play LTK. Monk has a few different options. You can even play, we made a few builds on the channel this season as well. For Witch Doctor, Firebat is still the king. Solo pushing, that's what you're watching right now. This is me doing my 96 clear. I have lots of guides on Firebat, Witch Doctor, like a 15-minute guide on how to push and all this stuff. And I'm going to keep my Diablo fans guide updated as much as possible. I played lots and lots of hours of Firebat, and it's one of my favorite builds of all time, actually. It's very rewarding and fun to push on. But of course, in the high 90s, you can still play Jade. You can still play Helltooth pet builds. Even Zuni, the Zuni pet build is in the 90s as well. And I'm sure there's other builds out there, but those are the ones that I'm familiar with. And Witch Doctor has a lot of variety, and it's good to see that. And of course, you know what I mean? With a lot of these builds, like you have group spots, right? So with Witch Doctor, you have a group spot. Monk, you have a Z-Monk. Demon Hunter, you have a group spot. Satyr is the only one. I think I skipped over that. Satyr is the only one that doesn't have a group spot. But technically, Hammerding can DPS like in the 90s, but nobody will probably take you, my friend. So don't attempt it unless you have a squad you're running with. And then finally, the Wizard. The Wizard, after talking about all that variety, it kind of falls off here. The Wizard pretty much just has Archon. There is a DMO build floating around in the 90s, I believe. But Hydra, Lightning Wizard is pretty much the king. Firebird Archon Wizard is the old king. And yeah, pretty much I guess that's it. Not much to talk about there. If you're playing a speed build, I'm probably going to do a video on Wizard speed builds on my YouTube channel, but you can play like Explosive Blast, you can play a Ghetto DMO version, and of course the Talvir's Wizard. Really strong. Anyways, guys, that's going to be all for me today. Make sure you follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. I'm streaming there 6 days a week, Diablo, killing and chilling, doing my thing. If you want to support the channel further, you can always check out my Patreon page. I'm going to put links down in the description and at the end of the video. Big shout out to all my patrons out there, all my Twitch subs. You guys definitely help fund the channel and what I do, and I appreciate that so much. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.